Every woman deserves to feel vibrant, safe, loved, and feel her power. The Woman's Vibrancy Code podcast is here for a potent use of your time. We will cover energy, hormones, and libido with episodes that also dive into entrepreneurship, money mindset, feminine power, and much, much more. Introducing Maraya Brown, Yale and functional medicine trained women's health expert, midwife, mom, and entrepreneur.
All right. Maraya Brown here. And for those of you that don't know who I am, first of all, what are we going to talk about today? I want to do a deep dive into skin. I've had a number of clients and women reaching out to me reporting new acne, new rashes, feeling like their skin is dull, feeling like they have new fine lines and wrinkles. And listen, I've got them too. I'm not a collagen girl yet. But anyways, I'm going to talk more about skin from the perspective of acne, women who are noticing new hair growth on their chin and jawline, maybe even nipples and abdomen, and even some balding. And let's talk about it from a hormonal perspective, gut health perspective, detoxification. This is not going to be one of those like, just going to give you a couple quick tips and then go on your way. This is actually going to be, I want to actually get into it. And you're probably going to want to grab pen and paper. And let's actually get into some of the nitty gritty. For those of you that don't know who I am, I'm a certified nurse midwife by training. So I did my nurse practitioner program at Yale and finished there in 2007. So I've been running women's health in various clinics since then, and then found the Institute of Functional Medicine about 7 years ago and really kind of shifted my overall approach. So yes, I have prescriptive authority and can order labs and all of that, but I feel like a lot of allopathic approach is what's your symptom? Here's your lab, here's your drug. In the case of acne, it's here's some topical antibiotics for the most part. And, or here's some retinol, right? Versus let's look under the hood and figure out what could be going on and what are some changes that you can do from home to potentially get to the cause of what's going on in changes. And so let's get into this. Okay, so first of all, skin and acne. We often think of puberty, right? All of a sudden there's new breakouts, but we have to remember that, yes, a lot of that is hormonal. And then as women, we go through other chapters of big change where the hormones are also changing, whether it's pregnancy, postpartum, perimenopause, and menopause. And those are other chapters where the hormones are really shifting. Okay. So we have to remember that there are all different things going on under the hood, so to speak, that are affecting our hormonal well-being, but also affecting our gut health, our adrenal well-being. And so when our adrenals are super taxed, that is absolutely going to impact our acne. Let's talk specifically about nutrition, just to get that out of the way. I hate to break it to you, but for those who have sweet cravings, eat a lot of sugar, that could be the simple thing. Sugar and dairy drastically impact insulin, and they also tend to increase acne. Okay. So if you're one of those where all of a sudden you're breaking out and you're going, what in the heck is going on? Something as simple as just cutting out your dairy and sugar, try 3 to 4 weeks and see what difference that makes. I also have women who are working with me and they're doing adaptogen elixirs and they're adding in quality fats into the elixirs like coconut oil or MCT oil, CBD oil. And they're saying, could that be causing more oily skin? So no. Okay. My answer is no to that. Trans fats, processed fats, fried food, greasy food, fast food, that can affect the sebum and creating more oily skin, definitely. But healthy, omega-rich sources of fat, such as coconut and avocado and nuts and seeds, no, I don't think that that's going to be associated with increase in acne. It's actually the other way around. If you actually put quality oils even topically on your skin, it's like sebum fights sebum, and it actually can help to decrease, which sounds so counterintuitive. And so for a long, long time, my moisturizer was either coconut oil or grapeseed oil. And listen, I don't have the most perfect skin. I lived in Hawaii for 8 years. I did a lot of international health work in Central America and West Africa. And I've had a lot of sun exposure on my skin, and I smile a lot. It's not perfect because what I'm referring to there is collagen production. Okay. So before I go to the fine lines and wrinkles, the other thing with acne is we have to think, is there a gut dysbiosis? Is something going on with your gut? Is there an overgrowth of yeast, which can often show up an increase in acne. And so once again, can we start decreasing sugar and dairy? And maybe if you're considering that that could be something that's going on for you, is it leaky gut? I like Gut Connect 365 as a first stop for that. But then also, if you're just shooting in the dark, some people say, well, I'll go take a probiotic. If you're going to want to look at under the hood and look at a functional test, the GI map is going to be the test for you. So then let's talk a little bit about collagen. So this is from a hormonal perspective. What's really fascinating is collagen decreases over time, partially because our estrogen and our progesterone start to go down. And so as the collagen goes down, what will end up happening is more fine lines and wrinkles, but also it's a byproduct of inflammation. So we think about stress, sleep deprivation, being exposed to pollution in the air, drinking water that's not filtered, eating high inflammatory food, living a high stress life, forgetting to do our deep breathing. All of that is actually going to impact your skin. And gosh, there's so much that I could talk about, but I just want to say out loud that we want to keep healthy levels of estrogen and progesterone to keep healthy levels of collagen. And for some reason, there's lots of different types of collagen. The one that is most drastically associated with the fine lines and wrinkles is type 3. It's more just kind of like fun to know information. But so one of the things that I do is I do add collagen powder into my adaptogen elixirs. Is that directly impacting my skin? I don't totally know. And I don't feel like I have total clarity with the research out there. But I do know that it's a great bioavailable source of protein and it theoretically helps hair, skin, and nails. So why not? But from a hormonal perspective, we definitely want to support healthy estrogen levels. So eating a diet rich in phytoestrogens, your ground flax, primrose oil, red clover, soy, as long as the soy is organic and non-GMO, that's going to help support your healthy estrogen levels. And if your estrogen is too high and you're struggling with estrogen dominance, that could be part of what's going on with acne. Eating a diet rich in phytoestrogens is going to help bring that down. If your estrogen is too low, eating a diet rich in phytoestrogens is going to help bring that up. And then balancing it with healthy progesterone. Progesterone is vital for collagen production. It's also vital to counterbalance if there's estrogen dominance. And here's the kicker. If you are one who is having oily skin, more acne in the T-zone, and maybe you're noticing increase in hair on your face, and maybe even a little bit of balding, hair thinning, what could be going on is elevated testosterone. But there's a couple different kinds of testosterone what's the best way to say it, as testosterone kind of metabolizes. And so testosterone is converted into something called DHT. And it's that form of testosterone that's most associated with the acne and the facial hair and the balding. And progesterone plays a really big part in the conversion and then something called 5-alpha reductase. TMI for you. Maybe that intrigues you. Maybe you like learning that stuff. But the big piece is if you're struggling with acne, we want to decrease the conversion over to DHT. So that means really working on your methylation and your detoxification and also keeping progesterone levels nice and healthy. So what are ways that you can naturally increase your progesterone? Cinnamon and ginger are easy places to start. Vitex or chaste tree berry is one, but it is a strong one. And I would never suggest you just go haphazard and go willy-nilly try taking Vitex. It's really something that's better used in conjunction with a provider and ideally look quantifiably at where your hormones are. So the best quantifiable place to look at your progesterone would be something called a Dutch test, which is dried urine total hormone. So we can really look quantifiably at what's going on with your progesterone. That's also going to give us a quantifiable of how are your adrenals, what does your cortisol look like over a 24-hour period, and how is your testosterone converting, okay? If you don't have the time or energy or resources right now, or you don't have a functional provider that can order a Dutch test for you yet, you can just try playing around with, well, I don't even know if playing around is fair to say, but other ways to increase progesterone can also be wild yam cream. And in some scenarios, getting a prescription for not progestin, okay? So not the pill, not the progesterone IUD, okay? I'm talking not the implant in your arm, actual bioidentical progesterone. And there really is a big difference. You can listen to the interview that I did with Dr. Sarah Hill. She wrote a book. It's called Your Brain on the Pill, if I remember correctly, really talking about what we're learning about kind of the detrimental effects of progestin, meaning the pharmaceutical version of progesterone. I mentioned detoxification. That's a whole thing. That's a whole like podcast on its own. But the main thing to keep in mind with detoxification is there are three phases. Okay. In phase one, we want our gut and our liver to be really firing well. So, once again, looking under the hood, is there a gut dysbiosis? Okay. Are you pooping every day? Are you gassy? Are you bloated? Can we figure out, is there some malnourishment going on or an imbalance in your gut? And then also, is your liver strong and healthy? So, dandelion root, milk thistles, your bitter greens are going to really support your liver, as well as a wide variety of fruits, vegetables, and berries. I say a minimum of every color every day. It's up to me, 7 to 13 servings a day, and every meal having 3 colors. If that feels overwhelming to you, then we do our best, right? And an easy way to bridge the gap between if you don't feel like you can eat all those fruits, vegetables, and berries, or you do, and you're just looking for more, I'm a big advocate of Juice Plus. You've got 30 fruits, vegetables, and berries that are grown well, picked at their peak of ripeness, flash frozen, pulverized, dehydrated, and encapsulated. So it's an easy way to kind of bridge that gap. And when we eat that wide variety of color and the wide variety of flavonoids and phytonutrients and antioxidants and all the amino acids that come in those plants, it actually increases the chance of your liver, all the different aspects of your liver being turned on to better detoxify. Okay. And then I mentioned methylation. That is part of the detoxification pathway. Not going to get into that now, but we want to make sure that your methylation is strong, and something as simple as, are you pooping every day? In the context of talking about acne and skin health, there's no way I could do this without mentioning endocrine disruptors. If you've never heard of that, they mainly, a lot of them come in beauty care products. So that's why I bring it up in the context of this conversation. And they actually mimic hormones. So endocrine disruptors are going to be showing up in your hair care products, your makeup, your lotions, and they actually go in and can be toxins to the skin and create disruption. They can increase acne, they can increase rashes, but they're also then a hormone receptor is like a lock and key. And when you're exposed to an endocrine disruptor such as BPAs, phthalates, parabens, fragrance, perfumes, if you're cleaning the house with like Febreze and the fragrance rich, your laundry detergent, the Tides with like really strong smelling things, those all go into the body as endocrine disruptors. And they can throw off your hormonal well being because, once again, lock and key, the body goes, oh, the key's already in there and the lock is locked. I don't need to produce that hormone. And so, really doing a diligent effort to clean up those endocrine disruptors. Don't store your water in plastic, okay? Clean up your beauty care products. EWG's Skin Deep is a great resource. If you don't know where to start, Beauty Counter is probably the best skincare line out there that's available to anyone and everyone. I have my person, Kristen, that I always go to. And then, like I said, cleaning out the fragrances, cleaning up the laundry detergents, your cleaning products that are in the house. And then, of course, I have to mention mask wearing, right? So here we are, many people wearing masks for long periods of time. And now think about it. You're breathing out bacteria and toxins theoretically. And now the mask is on your face and it's just being breathed back in, really, and being stuck to the skin. Not to mention, what laundry detergent have you been washing your mask? And that is causing a lot of skin disruption, new rashes. And so the other piece is overuse of antibacterial soaps and ointments, the kind of, don't mean to be judgmental, but like the overwhelming fear of germs all of a sudden when, it used to be, it's kind of normal for your immune system to be kicked in and get a cold or flu or, get sick sometimes. And a fever is not necessarily a bad thing, but now everybody's so afraid we're overdoing it, in my opinion, on all the antibacterial stuff. I've even heard now that there's masks that are antibacterial masks. Like, no, we don't want to kill all the good stuff. And now we're adding irritants to what is going on our skin, what we're breathing in. Okay. So that's an easy thing, well, relatively speaking, to start focusing on cleaning up. I wanted to talk a little bit about red light and blue light because that's relevant in skin conversation. So, just a quick synopsis is, in the morning when the sun comes up, it is blue light heavy first half of the day, red light heavy second half of the day. Unless you're living in like Alaska or somewhere where right now, this time of year, you're barely getting any light at all. And so that blue light that is strong in the sun in the morning hours helps to increase our cortisol and get us prepared for the day. Okay. But we don't want high cortisol all day long. Cortisol is supposed to help us fight, flight, freeze, right? Prepare to fight the mountain lion when it's there. Send us into our sympathetic nervous system. Okay. Send us into the base of our reptilian survival brain. Okay. Now, we don't want to be there all the time. We want to spend most of our time like fight quickly and then rest and be back in our parasympathetic nervous system, our feeling safe, our feeling calm, our clarity of thought, back up in the frontal area of the brain where we can have thoughtful conversations and be able to go back to hormone production and healthy gut digestion. Okay. So what happens is when we're exposed to blue light all day long, i.e., indoors, exposed to artificial light, looking at screens, whether it's computer screens or phone screens or TV screens that are very blue light heavy, they are increasing cortisol. And now your adrenals go into hyperdrive and your body stops producing hormones because the body will either choose stress or bliss. If it's in constant stress response, it's not going to help you with those lovely bless hormones, such as your progesterone and your estrogen, and decreasing your cortisol and having healthy testosterone and healthy insulin levels and all those things that we want to feel calm and safe and have clarity of thought. Okay. Now, the reason I bring this up in the context of skin is there's a lot of research around red light therapy, actually like getting red LED light therapy on your skin to help decrease mast cell dysregulation. So new rashes, itchiness, eczema, but also acne. And so in some scenarios, I see women bringing in red light therapy into the home. It's great in the evening hour because it's going to help turn on melatonin, help you wind down the end of the day, just like if we're spending our days outside and now the sun changes to more red light in the evening. Think about a sunrise versus a sunset, the colors that are in the sky, right? Sunrise is more purple, sunset is more orange and red. That's actually the wavelengths are different, right? The color is different. So if you're one of those that really finds, especially if you notice during the winter months, that your skin is looking more irritated, it feels more dull, you're having acne, you might consider bringing in some red light and putting blue light blockers on your screens, cutting off screen time into the evening hours. It's also going to help you sleep. It's going to help bring the cortisol down, which obviously you're seeing how it's all related, right? Because if your cortisol is high, now your digestion is off because the body, when it thinks it's being chased by a lion, is not worried about digesting that beautiful meal that you just ate. I think this is enough. I could keep going on and on. The main thing I just want to say out loud is if you are a woman who has noticed all of a sudden there is a shift in acne, rashes, skin tone, fine lines and wrinkles, new hair growth on your face, new balding, there is a lot that can be done. Okay. It doesn't mean you have to go get a prescription and just put something topically, although that helps. There's a lot that we can do to look under the hood and address the underlying gut health, hormonal well-being, stress reduction conversation, cleaning up the endocrine disruptors. That's all I've got. Enough. I wanted to just come in today and really offer some hopeful value and hopefully some steps you can start taking and some solutions and maybe little bits of, oh, wow, I didn't think about that connection with my acne specifically. I'm going to go enjoy my day and do my due to go outside and get some fresh natural light because I just really acknowledge the value of light on so many different levels. And yes, I will be doing my red light therapy tonight as well. All right, signing off, Maraya Brown here, certified nurse midwife turned online women's health expert. I help women move from exhausted to energized, balance their hormones, and feel turned on by their life, their lover, and themselves. You're welcome to reach out if you have questions. All right.
Thank you for listening to the Woman's Vibrancy Code. Connect with us and take the first step to transforming your energy, hormones, and libido at thewomansvibrancycode.com. Cheers to your zest and vitality. Make sure to follow for weekly power-packed value.